Hello, friends. I cannot wait to talk to you about this topic because I feel like no one is really talking about sales tax. And I get it. And I just want to say a disclaimer here. I am not any type of tax professional. This is not legal advice. This is not financial advice. This is just a summary of my research and findings to help you make sales tax a little less scary. So this is not income tax. We do have another Teachers Pay Teachers episode all about income tax with a tax professional. We will link that below. This is about sales tax as it relates to the digital products you are selling on Teachers Pay Teachers. So sales tax, you all know if you are in the US, it's added on to anything that you purchase, any physical product. If you go to the grocery store, there's sales tax. If you buy clothing, there's sales tax. But digital products, because you are not mailing them a physical like textbook or a physical, printed off resource, it's a little tricky. And the trickiest part is every state in the United States has a different set of rules and laws. Now, I will be touching on laws if you're outside of the United States at the end, so make sure you stay around for that. But basically, every state has a different set of rules and laws. So let's just start high level from the beginning. Teachers Pay Teachers is a marketplace. It's a marketplace facilitator. So you are using their platform to sell things. And because of that, most marketplaces do remit sales tax for you. They collect it and they remit it, all right, on behalf of you. Now, this means that for the most part, if you are a new seller, you don't have to worry about sales tax. Now, always do your own research. These laws are constantly changing and they could change at any time. So depending on when you're listening to this, don't take this as Bible. I am giving you some information, some resources. Please do your own research, okay? There is also a TPT sales tax FAQ link that I will also put below. And they do keep that up to date for the most part. So that is also a great resource for you in case anything changes with TPT and they're doing something different, because TPT did not always handle sales tax for us. Now, when you need to start thinking about sales tax is when you are making more sales, okay? And there aren't any specific, you need to start looking when you make this amount of money. Well, let me just tell you this. TPT handles sales tax for you unless you hit nexus in a state. Economic nexus. And what that means is once you hit nexus, you are required to register for a sales tax permit in that state, even if TPT is handling sales tax for you. So there are some thresholds, but like I said, it's different depending on the state. So a lot of thresholds are $100,000 in sales for the calendar year. So obviously, if you're only making $500 a year, it's probably not something that you need to worry about. Some states have a 200 transaction per year threshold. So if you are selling 200 resources per year to one particular state and they have that threshold, then you would be required to register for a sales tax permit. Okay. So the 200 transaction per year rule is something that you need to be a little more concerned about. Okay. Now, there are some states that they have $100,000 in sales or 200 transactions. So meaning whichever one you hit first. And I actually have a nice organized document for you on this. Facebook or Instagram, go to message me and send me the word tax and you can grab this document for free. We can also put the link below in the show notes to grab that. And it's just going to make it a little more simple for you to understand what's going on. Okay. So before you hit Nexus, you don't have to worry about anything. But after Nexus, you do need to figure out what states you need to register for a tax permit. And this is something, honestly, that I would ask a tax professional for help with. You can also use ChatGPT and you can Google, you can call that state's sales tax office and ask for help, but you don't have to do it alone. I think all the time, actually, you can do it online. You don't have to go to that state and register. You can do it online, but it's just something that you need to be aware of. So let's see, some states have higher thresholds. So like Alabama and Mississippi, it's a 250K nexus threshold. California, Texas, and New York, it's 500K. Florida is 100K. So like I said, every state is different. On this document that I'm going to give you when you go grab it, it does have the different states listed out with the different rules. Okay, so how do you check this? Where are you going inside of TPT to check? So you'll log in, you'll click on your avatar at the top right and go to My Account. sales tax settings, and you do have to go in there and set up that you want them to collect it for you. So you need to do this anyway, regardless if you are new or not new. Go in and click manage sales tax settings and enter all of your information. And then you can review the list of states and check and see if you might have hit nexus. You can also check your transaction count. So if a state has a 200 transaction nexus threshold, you can go to your store icon at the top right, hit sales report, and then transaction by state, and then choose the date range, last 12 months. And then you can show how many transactions you have in each state. Okay. And like I said, on the document that I'm going to give you, there is a list of states that has the 200 transaction rule. And I'm just counting here. It might be like 15 states, 10 to 15 states. What do you do if you log in and you see, oh, I have hit nexus? Don't panic. It's okay. All you need to do most likely is to register for a sales tax permit. You may need to file a sales tax return in that state. So TPT is still collecting the tax and remitting it for you. You just kind of have to have the documentation piece. Again, you can always reach out to a tax professional to help with that. You can also ask ChatGPT. I have a little prompt for you inside of this document. I hit nexus in this state. What do I do next? Can you help me? I get this question a lot, like, am I going to go to jail if I didn't know this? Unless you've been doing this for years and years, no, okay? And doing it on purpose. I feel like all states realize that these laws are murky because digital products are kind of a newer thing. People are just confused about what am I supposed to be doing? So you may have to pay back taxes in some cases, but most likely because TPT is already collecting the money for you, you don't have to do that. This would probably be a case where, like, if I am selling digital products on my own website and I hit nexus for that, no one is collecting the sales tax for me, but I forgot to register. I'm not going to go to jail, most likely. I'm just going to have to pay back the taxes that I owed. But for TPT, they are collecting it for you. It's just you may have to register. Can I go back and just fix it? Yes, you can most likely just go back and fix it, register for the sales tax permit, file a return for previous periods. If you missed that, it's totally fine. So just to recap, TPT is collecting sales tax on your behalf. However, if you have hit 200 transactions in a year, most likely all of those are not going to be in one state, right? In one of the states that has the 200 transaction rule. If you're hitting 10,000 transactions in a year, that's when I would start looking for $100,000. Now, again, it has to be $100,000 in one state. I haven't hit $100,000 total in 1 year on TPT. So the 200 transaction rule is really what I personally need to look at. That if that is the case, when you go to your sales tax settings and you set all that up and then you look at your sales reports and then transaction by state, then you would just need to ask ChatGPT or reach out to a tax professional. Hey, I've hit economic nexus in this state. What are my next steps? And again, if you go to my Instagram at Lindsay Bowden and send me the word tax, I will send you this document that has the states listed out for you, which states have the 200 transaction rule, or there's going to be a link in the show notes too. What about if you're outside of the US? So there is something called VAT or GST. I do have a section on this document with links for those different types of sales tax for outside countries. Now, because you are selling to the US, mostly on TPT, like US teachers are buying your thing, then you do still have to worry about sales tax and nexus and that kind of thing. Do you need to register for VAT or GST? Well, again, just like the United States, there's different thresholds for that. So then you would need to check the thresholds. Again, ChatGPT is going to be your best friend. Make sure you check out this document that I have for you. But the biggest thing that I want you to get from this episode is it's not scary. The worst that can happen is you just need to do some documentation, some paperwork. Unless you are purposely avoiding remitting sales tax for years and years, you're not going to go to jail. It's just a thing of you just need to follow the right protocol, file the right paperwork, get help from a tax professional, and you're good to go. So hopefully this was helpful on sales tax, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.